Стой, аккуратно, смотри, смотри, наблюдай. Долби его, блядь. Долби. Хорошо, хорошо, работай, работай, работай.
Ukraine on Sunday, March 5 claimed that 1,030 Russian soldiers had died in the last 24 hours, the highest death toll in a single day since war broke out on March 5, 2023. Ukraine also said its troops destroyed 25 Russian tanks in the past 2 days. Yesterday, Ukrainian drones recorded the rampage of Ukrainian tanks attacking and destroying several Russian troops on the front line. Dozens of Russian soldiers were eliminated in this action. But Moscow denies its troops suffered heavy losses and claims it has also killed many Ukrainian soldiers. The high number of soldiers who died matched statements by both sides which described the fighting in the snow-covered trenches as the deadliest battle of the war. After failing to take Kiev last year and suffering multiple defeats during the second half of 2022, Moscow has deployed hundreds of thousands of reservists in recent months, the most since World War II. Ukraine and its allies in the West say Russia is deploying so many troops to eastern Ukraine for many victories before entering the second year of war. A few weeks ago Russia picked up its first victory in half a year, but progress has been scant as Moscow has yet to capture any of the most populous areas. For months, the fighting has been focused around Bakhmut in the eastern part of Donetsk, a pre-war town of about 75,000. The Russians are still trying to lay siege to the city. Reindeer also launched a southward attack on Vulder, a Ukrainian stronghold on the plateau at a strategic junction between the eastern and southern fronts. Britain's Ministry of Defense said the Russian military had been trying since early January to mount a major offensive in parts of Donetsk still under Ukrainian control, but had made little progress. Ukraine says Russia may be stockpiling weapons and reserves for a major offensive in the coming weeks. Since the turn of the year, Western nations have pledged hundreds of tanks and armored vehicles to Ukraine to help Kiev push back Russian troops and retake territory occupied by Moscow. Ukrainian paratroopers destroyed 100 units of the Russian invaders in one of the key directions of the front. At the same time, the enemy did not stop active offensive actions, despite significant losses in manpower and military equipment. Thus, soldiers of the 77th Separate Airborne Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine destroyed 100 units of the invaders in one of the important directions. In most of the destroyed occupier personnel, boots, elements of uniforms and equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine were found. The paratroopers did not exclude that the equipment was taken from captured or killed Ukrainian soldiers. As reported, the Russian leadership is trying to hide data on losses in Ukraine. However, the occupying forces understood the scale of the losses, so they refused to attack. In addition, the Russian command continued offensive actions with the participation of infantry near Bakhmut. This made it possible to conserve ammunition, which was in short supply. The armed forces of Ukraine have stepped up transfers of military equipment to the Kharkiv region. Not far from Izium, a large Ukrainian formation was spotted, numbering up to 120 military equipment, including tanks, armored personnel carriers, army trucks, tractors and other weapons. The transfer of military equipment here may be due to the ongoing offensive of Russian troops towards Kharkiv. At the same time, the displacement of large military formations was observed not only here, but also in the Kupiansk region. Deployment of territorial defense forces. Such a large formation is located near Izium. At the same time, judging by the open deployment in the field. The fact of transferring additional weapons to the Kharkiv region may indicate the intention of the armed forces of Ukraine to organize a new wave of strikes against the Lugansk region.